Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm super excited because I'm sharing with you a book haul. And a lot of those books are for the kids. They're going to be read aloud. Some of them are picture books, but I also included a few of the books that I have set aside for myself and some books that I hope to read over the upcoming year as well. So the kids' books, you'll see mostly pertain to our history. So you guys know I don't follow a history curriculum, but rather I follow our Classical Conversations guide, even though we're no longer part of a community or a Classical Conversations group. We do still follow the guide, and it's just essentially as that. It's a guide for what we are studying for history. So you'll see that this year we're kind of reverting back to ancient history. And we're starting at the very beginning with the Ten Commandments, the creation of the world, and working up from there in ancient history. So you're going to see that a lot of these books kind of are geared toward that. They're going to be books that I'm reading aloud to the kids and are going to kind of just go along with our history. We also will be including our story of the world to, more directly tie in with history. But again, no history textbook that we're using. And then I have just some odds and ends, some books. I think with the book outlet, I needed to hit a free shipping minimum, and so I just added on a few books, I think for Eden and maybe Ezra. So you'll see those as well. But I just wanted to come on here and share the books that we have planned for the upcoming year. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first ones that I have purchased for myself this year are Becoming Mom Strong by Heidi St. John. If you guys have seen, I shared some of my favorites back in, I don't know if it was the spring or summer, but I have been loving Heidi St. John's podcast. Highly recommend it if you are a podcast listener. They're really short, really great, but she also has this book, and so I'm really looking forward to diving into this one. I also saw this one recommended a lot, so I'm looking forward to reading this one, Mama Bear Apologetics. And then this one more so just for fun. It's a fiction book, but Brave New World. I was recommended this one when I was talking about 1984 and reading that book. So someone, when I had shared that I had read that one, someone's like, oh, well then you should read this one. So I went ahead and grabbed it. It was actually pretty cheap on the book outlet. So if you are maybe interested, you should check this one out as well. All right, let's get into some of the books that I have for the kids. Now I will point out two of the ones that I had already purchased, but I just wanted to include them in case anyone was looking for ancient history, living books, not textbooks kind of thing. But I think I may have shared this when I was sharing what I was going to be doing in my morning basket time, because these are a couple of books that I intend to use. I did buy them, but just not in these most current hauls, but I still wanted to share them because they're good ones. We have Delaire's Book of Greek Myths. So one of the weeks for history is talking about the Roman and the Greek gods. So this will be pointing it out and being able to talk about them. They do have really good illustrations in them if you are familiar with the books, Delaire books. So one of the benefits of these books, a lot of people will say, well, why are you going to go over, Greek myths and the Greek gods and things like that? And I think it's important to understand that different people believe different things and point out and be able to recognize the fallacies in their beliefs. And so we'll be reading this, but obviously looking at scripture against it and understanding why maybe these myths and the Greek gods and the Roman gods do not fall into our beliefs, because we believe in the one true God. So always using a little bit of discretion when we're reading this and making sure that they understand they are myths. So that's one we're adding. And then I have also shared this one if you'd been there in Bible times, and it's just a super fun book. Again, we're starting back in Bible times in discussing the Ten Commandments. So they just have a lot of fun little, blurbs about Babylonian gods, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, King Nebuchadnezzar, just lots of fun little snippets and illustrations to help bring things to life for the young kiddos. So I'm looking forward to kind of using this one as well. Let's see some other books that we have. This one's going to be a read aloud. Theras and his town. So he was born an Athenian and taken to Sparta by a relative when his father is lost in war. This one I did have to buy used. I couldn't find a new copy of it, so that one has a little bit of wear on it. But reading that one aloud, as well as God King, a story in the days of King Hezekiah. So again, we're going back to ancient history. We have A Cry from Egypt. So I'm looking forward to a lot of these. We have, actually, I think I found this one at Walmart. We were looking for a book for one of my boys and happened to see this one, but it's Escape from Pompeii. And one reason why I was, again, I don't know much about this book. I just happened to see it. But it's short chapters, but it's obviously talking about Pompeii, ancient history. It has some tidbits in it about volcanoes, which also is going to tie into our science. But it also has, at the end of every little chapter, it has like a reality check, and it says like, what did Romans do for fun? And it answers the question. And another one is talking about gladiators. And so we're kind of jumping back into ancient Rome, reality check, like the Roman class divide. So it has lots of bits of like fun little facts at the end of the chapters. This one talks about water in Rome. So I thought that was intriguing. Again, I don't know much about this one. Just happened to find it and thought I would give it a shot. And then this one too, With Two Hands, Two Stories of God at Work in Ethiopia. Just thought this one would be a fun read for the kids as well. Let's see. This one does not pertain to history. This one is The Fallacy Detective. This is one that I purchased, and I am looking forward to going over it with Gabriel mainly. Just learning how to be able to detect fallacies and logic when we're making arguments and sharing our opinion, making sure that we are, have good logic when we're standing for something. So I am looking forward to doing this one. I'm sure that I have lots to learn with doing this as well. So I thought that was a fun one. All right, let's get into, oh, here's one more. Found another one that's in here. This one is Trial and Triumph, and the stories about church history. And so if you look at the contents here, it has the kind of broken down by person, and it's like early church where we're facing persecution and fighting heresy. Then it goes to the Middle Ages, but it's got, Alfred the Great and Charlemagne and Constantine and let's see, Francis of Assisi and Martin Luther and John Calvin and Charles Spurgeon. Just lots of really great, and they're really short too. So they're like maybe 4 to 5 pages where it's just talking about church history and the famous people in our church history. So thought that would be a fun one to dive into as well, just to kind of add in. All right, I'm looking here too, and I wanted to point out one thing. I did order Beyond the Desert Gate for history, and it was back ordered. So I just wanted to share that in case anyone was interested in having some, books as well for that tied to ancient history. Let's see, I got this one, A Long Walk to Water. And this one is based on a true story, but it's following 2 young people. It's kind of 2 stories that are kind of coming together, and it's all from one country of Sudan. And so one from 2008 and one from 1985. So I had this recommended by a friend, and so I'm grabbed this one. She did recommend that I maybe read it ahead of time so that I know what to kind of change, or if the kids are ready to listen, or maybe I need to, kind of self-edit a few things because it can be kind of heavy at times. So just a heads up for that one. And then I saw this one and thought it would be fun, just a picture book, but it says, What's Your Angle, Pythagoras? And I saw it after Gabriel and I were working in his math book with the Pythagorean theorem, and it's just a picture book, and I just thought it would be a fun one to kind of look through. And very infrequently do I find a picture book or a book that kind of pertains to math, but I thought this one would be a fun one to kind of tie into his math and learning the Pythagorean theorem. All right, so this next one, let me get it out here. It is a series. And I had seen them lots of times showing up on social media, and I was like, you know what, I just need to go for it. And actually, I will share that I bought them on christianbook.com, and I found the series to be the cheapest there if anyone is interested. Buying them for themselves, but it is The Secret of the Hidden Scrolls. And so it is a 9-book series, but it's going through, like, this is about the beginning, the race to the Ark, then we have the Great Escape, the journey to Jericho, the Shepherd's Stone. So again, these look like they're fiction books, but they kind of remind me of like the Magic Tree House, but a Christian version going back to famous biblical times. So here we have The Lion's Roar, The King is Born, Miracles by the Sea, The Final Scroll. So again, I've not read these. They look to be pretty well reviewed. If you've read them, let me know in the comments below what you guys think of them, because honestly, I don't have any experience with them, but looking forward to, again, we're doing ancient history, starting with creation, the 10 Commandments, Bible times. So I thought these would be good, and they're not very long. Let's see, they're like, if you look at the font, I think if I even wanted to make them readers, which I might for Gabriel, Isaiah, Ezra might even be able to handle these as well. But they're like 100, 130 pages, not super long books. So what are some other ones? We have The Samurai's Tale. So that one. Hittite Warrior is another one. I think that one came really well recommended, that it was like the kids really enjoyed listening to it aloud. See, we have The Golden Goblet. Okay, we have this one, Detectives in Togas. And actually, here's another one, The Mystery of the Roman Ransom. And they're the same author, and these ones, when I was looking at reviews, were very well reviewed, that their kids seemed to really enjoy these ones. So I'm looking forward to that. This one I have, The Red Scarf Girl. I need to pre-read this one as to whether or not I will be including it, maybe at least with Gabriel, but may just be a reader for me. I haven't, it again came recommended by a friend, and I haven't read this one through or done enough research on it to know whether or not my kids can handle it, so it might just become something I'm going to read. Again, I found this one on the book outlet for like $3 to $4. It was really cheap, and it had been on my list, so I grabbed it. And then mainly after here were just some picture books and some things that I found on the book outlet that I thought maybe the kids would like. I have a collection here of the I Can Read. Let me see if I can just take the plastic off here. That I thought they were all kind of history based, but they're good books to have the kid, Ezra for reading and everything, to work on his reading. But we have Harriet Tubman, Ben Franklin, Alexander Hamilton, Martin Luther King Jr., George Washington, and Lincoln. So those were all little history readers that I thought would be just good little books to add to our collection, but are covering history as well. So Eden really likes Fancy Nancy, so this one was like $1.30 or something, so I added a little Fancy Nancy book on there for her. I think that was eventually what got me over $35 to get free shipping. This one is a history reader that I bought for our history reading. I like to kind of intertwine like picture books, chapter books, a little bit of everything when we're doing it. These make good ones to have them read. Maybe even Gabriel can read it to the younger kids, or they can read it individually, but still giving them some reading time, but covering history. So we have the Trojan Horse, How the Greeks Won the War. So that was one we added on. I grabbed this one because the boys are obsessed with cars, and it just says Eat My Dust, Henry Ford's First Race. I thought they might enjoy this one. At least maybe the younger two would like that one. We grabbed this book, Volcanoes, another reader, but we are studying earth sciences in part this year, so I thought this one would be a good one to tie into our history. And then the last two books I just bought because, well, one, okay, let me just share. This one is An Invisible Thread. It's a Christmas story. So we got this book this past Christmas. I think it was on Sarah Mackenzie's like Christmas reading list. And so we picked it up from the library and I loved it. I think I cried when I read this book to the kids. And so I had just added it to my Amazon cart a long time ago. I wasn't going to buy it because it's like, we've got 12 months until next Christmas, but I want to hold on to it so that I know that might eventually be a Christmas book that I want to have in our own collection. And sure enough, I just happened to see it in the book outlet. It's like $5 for a hardback book. So grabbed that one because I really liked that Christmas book. And then I got this book, Hi, I'm Norman. It's just the story of an American illustrator, Norman Rockwell. And I really just love his art, his paintings. And so I wanted to grab this book because I'm always fascinated by his, just all of his work that he had done. Like I can sit and just look through books of his paintings, and they're just so fun to look at. And so I wanted to learn a little bit about him, and I thought maybe the kids would too. So I grabbed this picture book to go along with our order as well. So that's a lot of books. I kind of like spewed them all out at you guys really quickly. But I will put them in the links below in case you're interested in any of them. And if you have any questions about any of them, again, I'm happy to answer anything that you have. If you have some books that maybe I should add to my list or something that I should, purchase to go along with our study of ancient history, also drop that below. I would love any recommendations that you guys have. So until next time, guys, have a very blessed day.